Is there going to be a yen breakout with this Moody stuff? Is sterling poised to rally? Is sterling yen set to drop? U.S. loses its perfect credit rating again, the third time. Moody's dropped the hammer, and the now safe haven flows are back in play. Dollar yen's going to rule the sterling yen, and the pound's been slipping. The dollar's teetering. This week is going to be like where madness happens. So let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Tom here from Park Avenue Trading, your chief dealer, keeping you sane in these insane times and insane markets. If you like what you see, smash the like button, hit subscribe, share my videos far and wide. I want to build a huge trading community. I can only do that with you. Please leave some comments too for me. All right, let's get into it. We're going to be going over sterling yen for sure, but we need to talk about the components, dollar yen itself. And I got an interesting little pattern up here that I'm going to get into in a moment. But let's just get over to straight up good old dollar yen. All right. Dollar yen did react off of this news. Moody's posted it late. It was after the S&P market closed. The dollar kind of rallied up to 146, like 10. And then retreated quickly right back down to the 145.60. Not a major issue, but we're gonna have to see what happens on the open of this marketplace. All right, so markets are now recalibrating. All right, the Fed is pinned down because interest rates are going to need to go up to attract foreign capital into the Treasury bonds. That's going to affect the dollar. Now, is the dollar going to be able to sustain this? So right now, the last time, like I showed you on yesterday's video when I talked about the Moody's downgrade, when it happened, dollar yen fell, and it fell deeply. The first time it happened, it went from like 81 to 75, so like 12 big figures down. Is that going to happen today? Well, I don't know, for the simple reason that this is the third shoe to drop. The S&P and Fitch have already downgraded the debt. So will this have as much impact? It's only time's going to tell. I'm sorry to say I don't. If I knew that answer, man, I'd be a billionaire by Wednesday. But I don't have the answer to that. So we got to go off of technicals. So right now, the dollar yen itself is struggling really at 148.38. I put that up there. It's quite a distance away. However, with this type of news, dollar could rally, and it could do what I'm looking at over here, this little Adam and Eve structure here, where we can actually start rallying up, and then if we break the neckline, we could collapse lower. But that's complete, conjecture. So as it stands right now, the main points to watch on this week, in the beginning of the week, is the 144.23. I'll even go a little bit higher, and I'll go down to this low bars. I'm going to go low bars close. 145.20 would be the first indication that the marketplace is potentially breaking down, going to this 144.23. If that breaks, we're opening up 142.57. Now, you got to pay attention to my daily analysis. I'll have a better indication of what this market wants to do once Asia opens up, and there's probably going to be fireworks. It's going to be fireworks. Let's go over to good old sterling dollar. All right. Sterling dollar, that's sterling yen. Let's see here. Gold. I don't want gold. I want sterling dollar. Let's put gold up. Sterling dollar here. All right. As it stands right now, sterling dollar, let's go to the 6-hour chart real fast. 6 hours. Okay. Sterling dollar has been capped right now at this level right here. I'm going to say the high bars close. 134.34 longer term, right? Let's open this up and let me pull it down. 134.34. It's been capped right there. It also has been supported right now by the recent low of 131. I thought it was 29. Oh, sorry, 131.39. Okay, 131.39. Let me get a ray right here and go across right there. So it's just been trading in between these ranges. Actually, it's been a tighter range. It's been like 133, say 70. To right now the lower range here, 131.39. I think if dollar yen does fall, I don't really see much happening in cable. I think cable can potentially drift up to this, but there's going to be severe, resistance up here short term. I don't really see cable taking off like a rocket. The Brits are just as much as in bad shape as the United States, So it's got to hold that 130, 139. If it doesn't, they made a rate cut already. So are more rate cuts back on the table? Just like the European Central Bank, they're talking about rate cuts really soon in the beginning of summer, like in mid-June, late June. So the pound is really kind of soft on Bank of England dovishness, and the yen may be gaining on global risk aversion. So what does that do for us on our sterling yen? That basically drives our sterling yen down, potentially to the deep retracement of that 190.28, that level that we were talking, or I've been talking about forever, which is the main critical price that it had to stay above in order to try to get above like 197. It has not been able to do it. So there's been some to and fro on it. I still find sterling yen to be soft. I'll have better levels after, on Monday morning. I'll have some really good levels. However, I do think that, let's see where we went to. Wow. I think if it holds below 196, hang on, let's see here. Let me get a ray here. Let me get a horizontal ray. Let me see where we were. 196. Right there. If it holds below that, if it can't get above and close above it, say on a 4-hour basis, this marketplace is going to break this bottom and start heading lower towards that 190.28 in the long run. So, like I said, I'll have better indication when the marketplace settles down after this. This Moody's things, like I said, it could be a nothing burger. It really could be a nothing burger. Let's go over to good old. Well, that's the euro dollar. Talked about that in my other video, but I'll go over it real quick. Euro dollar basically broke out on the lower end of the range. It's actually started trying to get down to that 111.06. It couldn't do it. Resistance right now is 112.14 on the short term. Let's go over to good old euro yen. Euro yen, man, euro yen. This is another one that could dump if we break down through this low at 162.44. Right now, as it stands, if I'm looking, let me go to a 6-hour chart. Let's get more important data and then the hourly. All right, so we rallied. Wow, we're coming off the high here of 165. Wow. All right, let's see something. At 162.46. What did we go up to? 160. We couldn't even get, okay, we went at 63.11 before it pushed down. I think that the critical price for it right now is 163. I'm going to go 163.22. All right, I'll even go up 163.17. If it can't get above this, it's heading back down to, I would go this low bar's close, 161. That's very close. But if it breaks that, it's opening up the path to like 161, the figure. So a lot's going to depend on how the market digests this news. We got the ECB hinting at more rate cuts as soon as summer, like I just said. It's holding above a main point long term at 156, but I don't see this thing flying upward either. I think dollar yen's going to be the star of the show. So that's what I got for you guys on a weekly update. I will update, more cleanly on Monday. Please make sure you come over and watch that video. And remember, always as a short-term trader, enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.